Hello and welcome to another episode of Messy Magic. I'm your host, D Guy. And if you've been listening to this podcast previously, then this is the first episode you will have heard for a while. So I do apologize for not being in your podcast queue for a little while, but I'm back with some new inspiration, and this may or may not be good news to you, depending on how you like to listen to your podcasts. But I'm going to endeavour to do an episode every day. And I intend for it to be relatively straightforward. I don't have a lot of spare time during the day to record podcasts and edit them and publish them. So trust me when I say they should be pretty short and sweet. They may well be brought to you from the silence of my car, which is where I am at the moment, or my home, or if I'm out and about somewhere. So they're going to be very raw and real. And that's unlike any other podcast that I am currently listening to. I don't know about you. So I don't really know how this concept will go and how people will like it, but I'm going to give it a go. And the whole idea of this podcast right from the start has been to be real and raw and to be as unpolished as real life is, really. So I like this because I feel like it's going to involve hopefully limited time, hopefully limited editing, but also allow me to be in your eardrums more often than I have previously been. The other thing I wanted to say here is that what I want from this podcast, or what I want you to get from this podcast, is a feeling that someone is sending you a voice note, that a friend is sending you a voice note. And that's really where the inspiration for this podcast came from, or where part of the inspiration came from anyway, is that I do have a friend that we send daily voice notes, where we send daily voice notes to each other. And that's actually partly what this episode is about. So every day I'm planning to bring you something from my life that is hopefully valuable to yours in some way, whether it's through a lesson that I've learned, an insight that I've picked up, something that I've bought recently that is giving my life joy, some kind of experience that I've had that I would recommend, just real life stuff that's coming into your podcast queue. So today's episode is a little bit special because I want to share something with you that I think has really, it has changed my life this year. And I don't say that lightly, but it's so powerful that I realized I needed to share it. And I take no credit for it whatsoever. It belongs entirely to someone called Gala Darling. Now, if you're following me, you may already be following Gala Darling. You spell that Gala and then Darling, Darling. She's incredible. She's all about manifesting and empowerment and high vibrations, and she's going into femininity at the moment. Anyway, look her up. She's incredible. Tapping is kind of the main thing that she does, EFT tapping. But what I want to talk today about is her practice called the Magical Morning Practice. I'm going to put a link in the notes to a podcast episode that she has about the practice, but I'm going to break it down really quickly for you here, and also offer you the invitation to make it what you want. Take the essence from it and turn it into what you want. I'm going to tell you how I do it, and I basically follow what she recommends, but you could totally evolve it into your own thing and make it more powerful for you. So basically what it is recording a voice note for yourself, ideally every morning. For me, it happens as soon as I get a chance. So depending on what my day looks like, that might be in the morning after I drop my kiddo off to daycare, or it might not be until I'm almost ready to go to bed in the evening. So ideally, depending on what your lifestyle is, you'll do it first thing in the morning. But honestly, we all know life is real, and especially those who have young kids, it's not always possible to have time to yourself in the mornings. So you record a voice note, and it's in 3 parts. The first part is gratitude, and it's all about listing off everything that you feel gratitude for in that moment. Thinking about anything from the smallest basic thing that you're most grateful for. I often say sunshine in my gratitude list, and warmth, and I won't list off my gratitudes now, but you get the idea. It could be the most basic kind of simple thing to the most extravagant thing, a holiday that you've had, or something massive that you've recently purchased, or a relationship, or whatever it is. You list off your gratitudes, and it could be short or long, whatever you're feeling in the moment. The second part is called your daily desires, and your daily desires is basically everything that you desire to happen during that day. And it's not a to-do list, it's a list of things, or a plan for how your dream day would go. And so in this section and in the next section, you talk in the past tense as though it has already happened. So, this morning, if this was a practice, for example, you might say, this morning I got up and I made myself a delicious smoothie. I sat in the sunshine and drank it, and it was a really beautiful moment. And then I took my kiddo to daycare, and then I came home and I did a quick sweep of the house to make everything sparkling, and after that my house felt really beautiful. And you kind of go through the day, and it makes you think ahead about A, what you plan to do that day, but B, how can you be more intentional? How can you bring into your day the kinds of things that you want and the kind of life that you want to have? And honestly, this part of the practice makes me really intentional about my day for the rest of the day. Like, it makes you think about, especially if I've done it first thing in the morning, think about the day ahead and everything that needs to get done, and that also that I want to get done. And then, like, what would my ideal self prioritize? Like, what would the woman that I want to be, what would she prioritize in her day? And I put that in there. And then throughout the day, I often think about my morning practice, my magical morning practice, and what I said I was going to do. So it's really powerful. And the third part of the practice is called your future desires. And again, this is really powerful because every single day it makes you think about what you want to happen in your future. This could be the coming weekend, or it could be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Like, what do you want your future to look like? And again, you talk in the past tense. So it might be, we found our dream home, and it's everything we've been looking for, and you list off all of the aspects of your home. Or, I found my dream car and it was a really good price. I got a really great deal. It's been well looked after. It's secondhand. And I feel so grateful driving it every day. Whatever it is that you imagine your ideal future has, you talk about it in the past tense in your future desires. And the reason that I think this is so powerful is, again, this is every single day. So it's making you think about what's important to you. Like, what do you want to achieve in your life? Because every day we're spending one more day on this planet. We're getting closer to our future, closer to the end of our life. So when you get to the end of your life and you look back, what do you want to have achieved? And I think thinking about this every day is so powerful. So that's the basic practice. It might take you maybe 10 minutes to do, maybe not even that long, to be honest. One thing that Gala has recommended in the past is buddying up with someone, having a partner where you share with each other. And that's what I've been doing since the start of this year. And it is amazing, like how. So we share our magical mornings every day with each other. We also share what's going on in our lives, and we like the amount of change that has happened this year in our lives. Each of us is incredible, and I think that's due to a lot of things, but a big factor is the magical morning practice that we have. And I think having a partner is valuable as well because it gives you an opportunity to receive reflections back from the other person about what you've said, or maybe even reminders. Like it helps to keep you accountable to yourself and to what you said you wanted. But even if you don't have a partner that you do this with, you can do it for yourself and just record a voice note and just speaking out loud when you're on your own about what your desires are is really, really powerful. So I'm going to, as I said, I'll link to Gala's original podcast episode about this. I hope I've got all the details right. I've been doing it for a few months now, so I may have forgotten some of what she originally said because it's evolved to suit me better. But you can always listen to that original podcast episode, or you could just take what I've said and evolve it to be really valuable to you. But give it a try, and let me know how it goes. You can always reach me at on email, hello@messymagic.co. I'd love to hear about it. I honestly think it's one of the most powerful practices I've picked up over the years, and I've tried lots of different ones. The other massive one that I won't talk about it now, but the other big one that helped my life go through some big changes was the miracle morning practice. There's a book by Hal Elrod, and that was a practice I was doing. This was before I had a baby, to help me manifest some major things in my life. So if you want a podcast episode on that one, let me know. But as I said, there's a book about it. So I hope there's something in here that is useful. I honestly feel like this has been really valuable for me. This episode of the podcast is longer than what I intend the future daily ones to be. But I mean, I think all these details are well worthwhile. So I hope you've gotten something out of it. And I can't wait to hear from you about your experience with it. And in the meantime, have a magical day.